Welcome back to the CHF Overtime Podcast. As always, Jordan DeLuciano here, and joining me now for a very big announcement within the CHF is the CHF Executive Director, rocking his Albany jersey from back in the day, Scott Solomon. Scott, welcome back to the podcast.
How's it going, Jordan? Thanks for noticing. Yep, it still fits.
Yeah, it still looks good. It still looks like it looks like I haven't changed a bit with the Albany jersey.
I had to dig it out. It was a big announcement. I went to the game this weekend. I've been to a couple of games this year, rooting on the boys and everything else. So, yeah, definitely had to find it. Yeah, no shoulder pads helped me fill it out, but, yeah, it still fits well.
What number? You got 66 on there?
66. Yeah, 60. I didn't choose it. And oddly, prior to me, I won't say what year that was, but it was quite some time ago, the goalie wore it.
Okay.
So we had a goalie wearing 66 prior to my arrival, and then I had it for 4 years. The young punk coming out of Long Island, they're like, well, someone's got to wear it. Might as well give it to him. And then Joe Mazie, the coach of Farmingdale, who I know well as a friend, he stole it. He stole the number. I think he was just a big fan.
Yeah, he was a big fan of your work, so he's like, I can take. He wasn't thinking Mario Lemieux. No, he was. No, nobody was thinking Scott Solomon. No,
yeah, absolutely. Following in the SUNY footsteps. Maisie tacked on a couple of extra points, than I did, but that's certainly fine.
Yeah, that's weird though. Goalie number 66.
I know.
That's not that. But nowadays you see like Bobrovsky in Florida is number 72. You get the weird numbers, but mainly it's in the 30s. The goalies that they wear,
right? Or one.
Yeah, or the one high 20s, maybe 40s. But that's the announcement. Big announcement, everyone. Scott was number 66 for Albany. That was
right. And I found it. I found the jersey in the basement. That was the big announcement.
That's the big announcement everyone's been waiting
for. So see you next week. We'll see you next week.
Same thing next week. That's the thing. Scott found his Albany jersey. But all joking aside, so I touched upon it last week with Max Coletta, who works for Howie's. It was kind of touched upon as well at the Georgia tournament in this past January. It's been probably the worst kept secret. Teams are finding out. Conferences are finding out. Now it's time for the executive director to come out and kind of make it more broad and make it more public. So, Scott, I'll let you take it away. What has been the thing that's been slowly been leaking out throughout the past few weeks?
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate the forum to do it, here with you. We've tried to keep the message internal from New Year's Day to now. We wanted our members to hear it first. So we started with our board of directors, and then we went to the executive team. Almost every single conference has hosted their own direct-to-member communication. I didn't want our valued members to read a post or see something on social media or try to interpret something. I wanted them to have the opportunity to hear directly from us. There was a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to send out to everybody, but it was a direct to member message. So there was no interpretation. This is what we're doing. This is where we're headed. We're very excited. So internal message first, that was the priority. And, now with the PR release, coming out today, everything else, we are very excited to announce that we're launching a new level of college hockey in this country under AAU. AAU is a flagship name, blue chip name, if you will, in the sports world with over 100-year history, almost 750,000 participants in their various sports. But AAU has worked with us since the inception. And now we're excited to launch AAU college hockey. We're not branding club. We're not branding non-varsity. We're not talking on those levels anymore. It's just not the level that our players expect and what our programs are operating as. Nothing wrong with it, of course, but for us and where we're headed, AAU college hockey as an alternative varsity level in this country makes a great deal of sense. I said it before. I think we're solving a need. I think we're solving a need in this country for the 18-year-old coming out of high school, loves the game, wants to play at a very high level, wants to put their education paramount. Where do they go? There's not a lot of opportunity for it. But with AAU college hockey, we believe we have a home for all these players, put on a great product, get a great education, and continue to play the game that they love.
So you kind of touched upon it there. My follow-up question was, what would be the reasons that led to this decision? What do you expect from this announcement and now this partnership that now we are now a brand new form of college hockey, not club, not NCAA, but AAU college hockey?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this solves a need. This game is growing. When I played 2 decades plus ago, there wasn't hockey in the desert. I mean, that just wasn't something that was there. The expansion teams, the growth of the game, the NHL's influence on this game in this country has created such a vast growth of so many elements of the game. With that being said, the varsity roster spots at the NCAA level, and we understand that the NCAA is still the beacon of college hockey for all. We're not trying to compete with that in any capacity, but with the influx of international players, the pressure to win at that level, all of it, where does the 18-year-old, not the point whatever percent, the player who wants to go get a good education, play at a monster institution, and enjoy their time while playing a great brand of hockey, where do they go? And this is now the answer. AAU college hockey solves the need that exists in this country. When the CHF was formed, there needed to be a proof of concept. Does it work? Does this structure work? How does it work? What's the pro? What's the con? The proof of concept is clearly there with almost 140 teams, launching a women's division, all that we've put forth. This is the next chapter, though. This is no longer club hockey. This is no longer the non-varsity world. This is an alternative varsity level of hockey that this country needs.
So you mentioned NCAA, you see divisions in D1 hockey and then D3 hockey just D1, D3, but other sports in NCAA have D1, 2, and 3. Is that something that we plan on having in AAU college hockey as a D1, D2, D3 divisions?
Yeah, 100%. For those that follow closely, when I came on board about 3 months ago, I said I really do not want to upset the product on the ice. The season had already started. I came on board in October. So I said I want to work on the periphery. I want to build in some ancillary benefits, really get under the hood and see what this was all about. With that being said, I said I would never take anything away from the current season and not distract. And, it's in theory, it's 25% of our population's senior year. This is all. This is the last year for them. So I definitely didn't want to take anything away. With that being said, I only wanted to add. So we did. We added our American division this year, which is the first time the CHF has ever had a second division. We piloted this year. We have an 8-team national championship to go along with our 32-team national division championship, all taking place under one roof at Iceline in Westchester, PA in March. So we added a second division. But yes, there will be AAU D1, D2, and D3. We've already put together a committee to explore what the standardizations of play will be for the D1 level. It's not just going to be on the ice. I mean, it's program related. There's going to be more to being D1 than just checking a box on the application. But instead of us at AAU college hockey dictating that, we have formed a committee with some of the top coaches in the country, along with some of our executives, to discuss what that will look like. So that will probably come possibly next year, if not certainly the year after, as we continue to bring in new talent.
So to some that the abbreviation AAU might be new to, just speak to what is AAU, what is their reach, how much does it expand throughout the country?
So from a hockey perspective, that's clearly a different answer. The Amateur Athletic Union is an absolute behemoth in youth sports in this country. They have adult sports as well. Like I said, I just mentioned that they're almost at 750,000 participants in over 40 sports. Founded in New York. Their headquarters are now in Orlando, on the campus there of the Wide World of Sports near Disney. But they touch a multitude of different athletes, and the reach is, very vast. This AAU college hockey will start their collegiate level. They are looking at different sports. Again, my job is hockey, and then so at the end of the day, that's what's paramount in my eyes, and I try to keep laser focused on that mission of, as I said to you when I first came on, Jordan, I want to enhance the player experience and truly maximize their 4 or 5 years under this banner. So the AAU has a very vast reach. In the collegiate level, we're going to be the flagship here in ice hockey.
So what has been your relationship with AAU maybe in years prior, or the relationship that has been built with you specifically, as well as with AAU's relationship currently with the CHF? How did that grow?
Absolutely. It's a wonderful relationship. Mark Perlwich, who was on with me last time, who's the chairman here of the CHF, he has an absolutely fantastic relationship with together 2 weeks ago. In the PR release, you'll see quotes from both of them. They're very excited about the future of AAU college hockey. They know what the hole in the collegiate ice hockey game is, where it exists. But I'll give you, again, flattering, they know that we're the right group to fill that void and to give these amateur athletes a place to play at a very high level. Our goal is to treat them like the varsity athletes that we know they are. I mean, they're out there banging heads. They're in the barn every weekend doing what they need to do while graduating, keeping up their grades. Some are working jobs. But at the end of the day, they are varsity athletes on the road, weight rooms. They're doing what they need to do, and it's time to recognize them.
So AAU just had their reach expand so much, and then they throughout the country, and that how they've been around for so long. How much do you think that's going to impact the CHF going forward?
It's a blue chip name, like I said, in sports. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's top of mind brand recognition. The CHF is not going away. It's the membership, the executive team, the board. We're the ones saddled with running AAU college hockey. This is not a takeover. It's still our bylaws. It's still our financials. It's still our rules and regulations. All of it is paramount to the success of growing AAU college hockey. So it's this group that's already proven the concept worth that AAU wants to partner with to run it. So the reach for AAU is, again, massive. It's nationwide, and they're able to bring to the table other strategic partners, vendors. They're able to bring awards and national level programs that our players can take advantage of. For us, those are huge benefits because of their reach. For them, it's real simple. They know as we grow, they grow.
Yeah.
And they know we're the right group to do it. And that was articulated to us when we met. They want to do it, but they need our structure and expertise in this space to achieve their goals.
So, yeah, I think it's big stride here right now for the CHF. Speaking of CHF, I might have to change the name of my podcast to now the AAU College Hockey Overtime Podcast. Is that fair to say?
It is. Like I said before, I didn't want to change anything this year.
Yeah.
The only thing that you'll see this year really any different other than these announcements is the national championship. The name, the Fed Cup, is going to go away because of the sponsorship and the branding that AAU wants. This will be the first annual AAU Collegiate Hockey National Championship.
Mhm.
So that you will see come March. The rest of the name change and all of that, as we adopt the AAU moniker, will come in the off season. So the
Okay.
website, the social media, your podcast, all of it,
Mhm.
we will be operating as AAU college hockey to start the 23-24 season.
Gotcha. So in terms of Babson's championship last year, are they considered AAU national champions then? Like when this is all like, how does that work? I know it's very technical then.
It does. Look, I mean, if you would rather win the AAU national championship over the Fed Cup, then Babson's going to have to do it again. And I mean, it's as simple as that. And I told Matt Palladino, their coach, we talk regularly. Look, there's a ton of press when you win the Fed Cup, and
Yeah.
good for them. But if you want to win the AAU national championship, he's going to have to do it again.
All right. It's harsh words, but it's just how it is, It's just how it is. Any specific goals that you guys have in mind within the leadership group here at the CHF and eventually the AAU college hockey that you would like to accomplish with this association with AAU?
Oh, there's a lot, and again, I said to you again, I keep repeating myself that I said it the first time when we had the podcast. I'm a run, not walk guy, but I'm always very careful not to upset what's working. So the rebrand end of the season, I don't want to mess anything up that's already happening. But the plans for the future, we've had some strategic conversations as an executive team. We've had some strategic conversation with Mark and the board. There's a lot coming down the pipe for us, including AAU Collegiate Hockey Invitational tournaments, AAU National Championship, I've already talked about. There'll be AAU Collegiate Hockey ID camps and recruitment camps that are going to be run around the country to help raise brand awareness, but give these high schools an opportunity to see what we're doing, who we're doing it with, and the level of hockey that they can come be a part of. I mentioned Mark a few times. He had a wonderful conversation with the USPHL. We have a partnership there where we're going to be able to put some of our showcase AAU collegiate games during USPHL showcase weekends. Give those players an opportunity to see what AAU college hockey is all about. So with ID camps for our schools to help come together and recruit, to give our players an opportunity to, again, educate to the level of hockey. Invitational tournaments, our women's division, there's a lot of growth. And under the AAU brand, we think that's going to help us grow throughout the country and increase our reach all the way down to the high school ranks, because we're the next step. We are the next step for these players.
Lastly, now this decision that to go to AAU college hockey, that happened. Was that something in mind that before you came on board, or during the process of you coming on board? Did it happen late in the 2022 part of the year? How'd that come about?
So to answer your question, this did not come about last year. I mean, this was conversations that persisted after I got here. Again, in business, when you want to grow and build something, there's an old adage of find a problem, build a solution, and you'll grow. And I recognize the problem. I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't know where the 18-year-old high school graduate who is a tremendous hockey player, but if they're not in that top 3%, the NCAA is very difficult to crack. The roster spots are few and far between. Junior players in Canada who age out and come down fill a vast amount of them. International players other than Canadian are now being brought in. The pressure to win at the NCAA level is very, very much a real item. So coaches will go find the best players to put their best product on the ice and try to go win the Frozen Four. But it does leave a lot of very talented players on the outside looking in. Is club bad? Of course not. I played it. I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it. But no matter what we do, there is a negative connotation to club hockey, and that's a shame. It doesn't deserve it, but it's there.
Yeah.
If you talk to any of the English professors in any one of our 140 institutions, they will tell you, if you want to promote a positive, don't start with a negative. So the phrase non-varsity, non-scholarship is a negative. There's nothing really in the scope of what we do that should be negative. So an alternative varsity level under AAU made a great deal of sense. It made sense for next year. The conversations took a while. AAU adopted it quickly. Getting the look and the feel was a collaborative effort, but it's a problem that I identified on my interview call with the board of directors. I brought it up to them. I've been in this world for 2 decades. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And our players deserve to feel like varsity athletes. And I think over time, with our growth, they will.
Well, Scott, appreciate all the information. Appreciate the time. A lot of big stuff, big news coming. AAU college hockey is starting right now. It's only going to get bigger and better, starting off with the national tournament, the AAU National Championship. Look forward to seeing you there, Scott. Should be a great time.
It's a good time. Look, you bring 40 teams together, our staff, parents, friends, supporters, sponsors. It's going to be a great show. The players are going to have a great time. It is our flagship event, and I'm very much looking forward to being there.
Yep. And then throughout the season, we got to get me a new background and then a new green screen as well. We got to get on that.
But we will make sure it happens.
Yep.
We got a lot of gear coming down to broadcast what we have going on. We're very excited about all of it, and we're proud. So we'll be rocking the background, the hoodies, the quarter zips, the whole nine.
Yep.
Absolutely, buddy. Anything for you.
So once again, joined by the executive director, Scott Solomon. My name is Jordan DeLuciano. For now, the CHF Overtime Podcast. Thanks for watching us, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again, Scott. Have a good one.
You as well. Thanks.